What do you say about a man like that?
3 months ago, you lost the drive containing the identity of every agent embedded in terrorist organizations across the globe.
007 reporting for duty.
There are films that simply exist as entries in a long-running franchise. And then there are films that redefine what that franchise can be. Skyfall belongs firmly in the latter category, arriving at a moment when the legacy of James Bond was both firmly established and quietly uncertain. With Daniel Craig returning as 007, the film leans into the weight of history, while simultaneously reshaping the emotional and thematic identity of the character. What makes this entry particularly compelling is how it balances spectacle with introspection, turning what could have been a routine spy thriller into something far more layered and enduring. From the very beginning, Skyfall establishes a tone that feels different. There's a sense of consequence, of gravity that lingers beneath the action. Bond is no longer just the suave, unflappable agent who always lands on his feet. Instead, he is introduced as someone vulnerable, someone whose physical and psychological limits are pushed to the edge. This shift is crucial because it reframes everything that follows. The story isn't just about stopping a villain or completing a mission. It's about identity, loyalty, and resilience in the face of personal and institutional decay. The central conflict revolves around Bond's relationship with M, portrayed with remarkable depth by Judi Dench. Their dynamic has always been one of the more interesting aspects of the Craig era, but here it becomes the emotional core of the narrative. M is no longer just the authoritative figure giving orders from behind a desk. She is a character with a past, with decisions that have consequences that ripple into the present. When that past resurfaces in the form of a dangerous adversary, the stakes become intensely personal. Bond's loyalty is tested not in abstract terms, but in a deeply human way. He must decide what it truly means to serve, and at what cost. Javier Bardem's portrayal of the antagonist introduces a different kind of threat. This is not a villain driven purely by ideology or greed. Instead, he is shaped by betrayal, by a sense of abandonment that mirrors and distorts Bond's own experiences. The result is a character who feels unsettlingly intimate, almost like a dark reflection of Bond himself. Their interactions carry a psychological tension that elevates the narrative beyond simple hero versus villain dynamics. It becomes a confrontation of philosophies, of wounds, of differing responses to similar trauma. Visually, Skyfall distinguishes itself through a deliberate and almost poetic approach to cinematography. Every frame feels carefully composed, with lighting and color used to reinforce the emotional tone of each scene. Whether it's the stark contrast of shadows in urban settings or the haunting beauty of more isolated landscapes, the film consistently emphasizes atmosphere. This visual precision supports the narrative's themes, making the world of Skyfall feel both expansive and intimately connected to the character's inner struggles. The action sequences, while undeniably thrilling, are never gratuitous. Each set piece serves a purpose within the story, advancing the plot or revealing something essential about the characters. There's a discipline to how the film handles its action, avoiding excess in favor of impact. This restraint allows the quieter moments to resonate more strongly. Scenes of reflection, of hesitation, of silent understanding carry as much weight as the explosions and chases, if not more. Another significant aspect of the film is how it engages with the idea of relevance. In a world increasingly dominated by digital surveillance and remote warfare, the role of a traditional field agent like Bond is called into question. The narrative doesn't shy away from this tension. Instead, it embraces it, turning it into a thematic thread that runs throughout the story. Characters debate the value of old methods versus new technologies, of instinct versus data. Bond, in many ways, represents a fading archetype, and the film explores whether that archetype still has a place in the modern world. Ralph Fiennes and Naomie Harris contribute to this exploration by embodying different facets of the evolving intelligence landscape. Their characters are not merely supporting roles, but integral components of the thematic structure of the film. They represent continuity and change, tradition and adaptation, providing a broader context for Bond's personal journey. Through their interactions, the film expands its scope, suggesting that the challenges faced by Bond are part of a larger institutional transformation. Emotionally, Skyfall is surprisingly resonant. It delves into themes of loss, memory, and belonging in a way that feels both sincere and impactful. Bond's past, often hinted at but rarely explored in depth, becomes a key element of the narrative. This exploration adds a layer of vulnerability to the character, making him more relatable and human. It also reinforces the idea that the past is never truly gone. It lingers, shaping decisions and defining identities. The pacing of the film reflects its dual focus on action and introspection. It allows moments to breathe, giving the audience time to absorb the significance of what is happening. This measured approach might feel unusual for a franchise known for its high-energy sequences, but it ultimately enhances the overall experience. By slowing down when necessary, the film creates a rhythm that feels both deliberate and engaging. One of the most striking elements of Skyfall is its willingness to take risks. It challenges expectations, subverts familiar patterns, and embraces ambiguity. Not every question is answered neatly, and not every conflict is resolved in a straightforward manner. This complexity adds depth to the narrative, encouraging viewers to engage with the story on a more thoughtful level. It's a film that trusts its audience to appreciate nuance, to recognize that heroism can be complicated, and that victory often comes at a cost. The direction by Sam Mendes plays a crucial role in achieving this balance. His approach brings a sense of cohesion to the film, ensuring that every element, from performances to visuals to pacing, works in harmony. There's a clear vision guiding the narrative, one that prioritizes character and theme without sacrificing the excitement that defines the Bond franchise. This synthesis of artistic ambition and mainstream appeal is what sets Skyfall apart. The screenplay, crafted by Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, and John Logan, deserves particular attention for its ability to weave together multiple layers of storytelling. It manages to honor the legacy of the franchise while pushing it in new directions, creating a narrative that feels both familiar and innovative. Dialogue is used effectively to reveal character, to build tension, and to underscore the film's central themes. There's a sharpness to the writing that keeps the story engaging from beginning to end. As the narrative progresses, the sense of inevitability grows. The conflicts introduced early on begin to converge, leading to a climax that feels both intense and emotionally charged. This culmination is not just about defeating the antagonists, it's about confronting the past, accepting change, and redefining what it means to be Bond. The resolution carries a weight that lingers, leaving a lasting impression that extends beyond the immediate spectacle. In many ways, Skyfall serves as a reflection on the nature of legacy. It acknowledges the long history of the Bond franchise while questioning how that history should be carried forward. This self-awareness is one of the film's greatest strengths, allowing it to resonate on multiple levels. For longtime fans, it offers a deeper understanding of a beloved character. For newcomers, it provides a compelling entry point into a complex and evolving world. The performances across the board contribute significantly to the film's impact. Daniel Craig delivers a portrayal that is both physically commanding and emotionally nuanced, capturing the contradictions that define Bond. Judi Dench brings a sense of gravity and vulnerability to M, making her storyline one of the most compelling aspects of the film. Javier Bardem's antagonist is both charismatic and unsettling, leaving a lasting impression. Supporting performances by Ralph Fiennes and Naomi Harris add further depth, ensuring that every character feels purposeful and fully realized. What ultimately makes Skyfall stand out is its ability to blend spectacle with substance. It doesn't abandon the elements that have made the Bond franchise successful: action, intrigue, style, but it enriches them with a deeper sense of meaning. The result is a film that feels both entertaining and significant, a rare combination that elevates it above many of its contemporaries. As the story draws to a close, there's a sense of transformation. The events that have unfolded have changed the characters, reshaped their relationships, and redefined their roles. Bond emerges not just as a survivor, but as someone who has confronted his own limitations and found a renewed sense of purpose. This evolution feels earned, the result of a journey that has been as internal as it has been external. In retrospect, Skyfall can be seen as a turning point, not just for the character of Bond, but for the franchise as a whole. It demonstrates that even a series with decades of history can find new ways to tell its stories, to challenge its assumptions, and to connect with audiences on a deeper level. It's a film that respects its roots while daring to grow beyond them, creating an experience that is both timeless and distinctly modern. The enduring appeal of Skyfall lies in this balance. It offers the excitement and escapism that audiences expect, but it also invites reflection, encouraging viewers to consider the complexities of loyalty, identity, and change. It's a reminder that even in a world of espionage and high-stakes action, the most compelling stories are ultimately about people, their choices, their struggles, and the legacies they leave behind.